The Achievement Gap by Ryan Winslow, Suzanne Sparks, Bethany Brisky for Education 590, Issues in Education. The achievement gap in education refers to the disparity in academic performance between groups of students. The achievement gap shows up in grades, standardized test scores, course selection, dropout rates, and college completion rates. It is most often used to describe the troubling performance gaps between African American and Hispanic students at the lower end of the performance scale and their non-Hispanic white peers, and the similar academic disparity between students from low-income families and those who are better off. Indicators of achievement gaps can be performances on tests, access to key opportunities, such as advanced mathematics, physics, higher education, etc., and attainments such as high school diploma, college degree, or employment. Some groups may trail at particular points, for example, boys in the early years and girls in high school math and science. Differences between the scores of students with different ethnic, racial, gender, disability, and income are evident on large-scale standardized tests. There we go. Ryan?
Thank you. So some of the student groups experiencing achievement gaps, racial and ethnic minorities, English language, students with disabilities, both boys and girls, students from low-income families. Education and school funding policies can exacerbate these opportunity gaps. And analysis by the Education Trust, a Washington-based research and advocacy organization, and others have found that students in poverty and those who are members of racial minority groups are overwhelmingly concentrated in the lowest achieving schools. For example, in California, black students are 6 times more likely than white students to attend one of the bottom third schools in the state, and Latino and poor students are nearly 4 times as likely as white students to attend one of the worst performing third of the schools, according to Ansel in 2011. So 4 of the ethnic groups that are affected by achievement gaps would be the American Indians and Alaska Natives, Pacific Islander, blacks, and Hispanics. And then we move on to the subtle factors affecting the achievement gap.
So subtle factors affecting the achievement gap include peer pressure, student tracking, negative stereotypes, test bias, and test performance anxiety. So some researchers are exploring these subtle factors and how they can contribute to the achievement gap. Research has shown that students from a disadvantaged group can perform below their normal ability when confronted with negative stereotypes about their group. For example, in 2009, the Institute for Research on Education Policy and Practice at Stanford University found that specific student groups underperformed in stereotypical ways on state exit exams. Girls performed worse on math, for example, or students from Asian American backgrounds scored lower on reading, suggesting that the high-stakes nature of the test can contribute to students' performance anxiety. So to close the achievement gaps, there's tactics employed by schools, and these tactics include reducing class sizes, creating smaller schools, expanding early childhood programs, raising academic standards, improving the quality of teachers provided to poor minority students, and encouraging more minority students to take high-level courses. So in principle, the public has been behind closing the achievement gaps, and schools have employed these resources to try to address it. These common reforms have been used by schools, and they're still in progress to reduce academic